We're live. We're back with Tales from Tef's Tavern. I'm here with Andy,
Hi, Mike.
and we're just going to give another go at this, man. We're not experienced enough podcasters to put any sort of grace or pretty in front of this, so we're just going to go right into it with what we've been doing this week.
Yeah. I'm not really an experienced adult, so
Yeah, totally. I'm still working on that. So
yeah.
this week I worked too much, and I played a little bit. I actually got a little bit back into the computer game Eve Online. I've always been in love with that one. It's always seemed to draw
Yeah.
me back in. I was an early adopter and got in right about, I think it was a couple of months after it launched. So my
Mm.
character's pretty well skilled and versed in combat and all that. So we'll see if that gains any traction if I actually go
It's,
anywhere with it.
it's a big time sink, though, eh?
Oh, well, it is and it isn't because it's one of those where if you don't have a lot of time to play, you can just set up your character to train and they'll continue training whether you're
Oh,
online or not.
that's pretty cool because I've only ever played like Warcraft. I've not played anything like that. So.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. That being said, it is one of the nerdier MMOs in the world. It gained the nickname Spreadsheets in Space just because of how much management there is to it.
Yeah, I probably couldn't handle that.
Right. I also had the blessing of playing in another one of our friend Jason's games on Friday, and I had a blast.
Mhm.
But that was a good one, so I'm lucky on that. And today, this morning, is Father's Day, and I'll also be DMing a game for my family here in about an hour.
Great stuff.
So,
Proper round the tables type stuff.
yeah, real like sit down, rolling physical dice at people things.
Real people.
It's scary.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
How about you, man? Anything exciting this week?
Well, my house been pretty much shot to pieces this week,
Oh,
but I've managed to get some maps drawn out. I'm working on a module with Jason for his Iron Falcon supplement thing.
oh, neat.
So that's pretty good. I've managed to sort of get 3 of those dungeons done for him, and then I'm going to work on some cover art and um, the village design.
Oh,
So
that's
that
so
should be
cool.
that's pretty interesting because like we're working sort of basically just over Messenger and taking photos and stuff. But yeah, that's really good. That keeps me going. Um, E3 this year was pretty cool for games and stuff.
Oh, that's
Um,
right. That was this week. I missed the whole
yeah,
thing.
well, normally they're pretty rubbish. Like as in presentation, they're quite cheesy.
Right.
The Microsoft one was amazing, um, especially with the end when you need to go and check it out because it like glitches out and does the Cyberpunk trailer,
Ooh,
which is pretty good.
that looks interesting. That looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, I've only this gen console. I've only got a Switch at the minute, so I got a hold of Paladins. So I'm hoping we can cross match that and get some gaming in together with Paladins somehow.
Oh, absolutely. We're bound to just be awful at that, so I'm gonna have to record
Yeah,
that
yeah,
and post it to the tavern.
yeah. I think so. I think it should be like guys that have no idea what they're doing playing a really fast, like first-person shooting team game. It should be the most weirdest thing going. So hopefully we maybe can try and hook that up
Then we'll
to
get
do.
some 12-year-olds to just stomp our skulls in.
Yeah, we won't care because we'll just be in the corner laughing
That's it. That's it. I love it. I'm
because
super
it's
excited.
it's the joy of the stuff, and
Absolutely.
if you've got no joy for what you're passionate about, then what's the point?
See, and that's it. I've determined I'm never going to be a professional gamer.
No,
I don't have the quality or the high eye hand coordination to be any good at this. But damned if I'm going to not just sit back and enjoy it.
yeah, and that goes with every kind of game
Yep.
because that's the thing. It's like the whole point is the game and play, and you play at something. You learn by playing,
Yeah.
but you know, that's the thing. Enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then don't do it.
Yeah. There's no point. That's why we're all here.
Yeah,
Life's too short to not enjoy something, especially when you're not getting paid for it.
exactly.
Well, this week, I think we tossed around a couple ideas, and we were going to go into the concept of miniature gaming versus theater of the mind.
Hmm.
And I've always been really kind of open to either. When I was younger, we just didn't have any money. We were just dead broke and not willing to get jobs or do any sort of, we were lazy on top of that. So we didn't have the gumption to go earn money as well. So we kind of just didn't approach miniature gaming, whether
it's
it
not
be.
a cheap hobby, is it?
That's a fact. As far as our D&D table went, and this little town I live in has never really had a miniatures wargaming community of any kind. If you want to do any sort of Warhammer or anything like that, War Machine, you have to drive 65 miles to a neighboring city called Grand Junction to.
Which is
crazy.
That wouldn't happen over here. The thing you said to me the other week, what was it that Americans think 200 years is a long time, and European or British people think 200 miles is a long way.
Right.
He's absolutely spot on. Right? I mean, if we thought you'd have to drive 60 miles to play a game,
no way.
Like, no, that's like a convention to us. Or a holiday. You go on holiday, you drive 60 miles.
See, and I do that every morning. I get it. I think of my Fridays as almost like a little day off because I get to work in my hometown and I don't drive but maybe 30 miles that day, just driving around town.
But that shows you the scene. I mean, again, it's an expensive scene. If you haven't got a local place to get a regular game,
right?
It's a lot of money to invest in something you maybe play twice a year.
Yeah, totally, because you're not going to get out every week.
No. I mean, with D&D, I think given the choice, I will always go theatre of the mind.
Really?
With people that I know, if that makes sense.
No, sure.
Because if I go back to last week, my son ran a game for me and his girlfriend, and apart from playing online games and Skyrim and stuff, she'd never played any pen and paper games.
Oh wow!
So it was Reese has grown up with this, so he knows what we do.
Yep.
But I never appreciated when a new person comes in how weird what we do is. it's like, okay, so we're going to do this, and then this happens, and then we can do that, and for sure. But she really ran with it.
Oh, how neat!
And it was one of the best gaming experiences I've had is seeing a new player come to the table and love it.
Oh, it's phenomenal. I absolutely love teaching new people the hobby.
Yeah. But having said that, I played wargaming a lot, and I've still got a lot of terrain and stuff. And it has its place. It can set a scene. It can do things. And the same as using overlays, playing live online, they can add things as well and shouldn't be dismissed either way. For
sure. I've actually been poking my nose in and around because we play so many RPGs online, pen and paper, that I've been exploring the different methods out there of doing virtual tabletop, where it be Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds or what have you. And even in our last session, I was posting things in Google. We do a lot of Google Hangouts, so I would just do screen share to show images or maps or anything like that. And that alone could be, it's just helpful, I think. Because I've always been the kind of DM that at the table likes to give handouts and trinkets and that sort of thing. My mom was a huge crafting freak. She loves building things with her hands, whether it be jewelry or painting or art, whatever. So if I need a strange bauble that's going to be representative of an ancient artifact that unlocks the great dwarven door of Manahun or whatever, I can just dig through her drawers in her craft room and we'll find something.
I need to put an order in then.
Yeah, no joke, man. She ordered a set of 200 individual, I think they're copper or brass wax stamps for sealing envelopes. So yeah, I've been abusing those probably more than she has. Oh man, they're too cool. So what I did was I'd print out, I'd go and buy some decent parchment at the office store, and print out a bunch of invitations to my players' characters, roll them up, seal them with a wax stamp, and hand deliver them to the players' homes in the middle of the night. Because I'm a nerd, and they loved
Can I
it.
come and move in over there? I need to move.
You got to come over, man. We'll get you. You guys got the cooler countryside, and we don't have that many castles over here. But man, we'd love to see you.
Yeah, that's the rub. I mean, everyone thinks, with the castles and shit, but it's like, oh yeah, sorry, this has just popped into my head. At
Go for
E3, they showed the new Forza racing game.
How is that?
I don't know, because it's based in Britain, and I'm just looking out the window, looking at our shitty roads, and thinking, everyone else in the world thinks it's all this like romantic roads and stuff.
Right.
I'm just looking at like, 2-lane, like, not far off dust tracks in some areas.
We're gonna need some better tires and suspension in this game.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Everyone's gonna be on the wrong side of the road. No, that's funny. I love it.
But yeah, I think when you mentioned like Fantasy Grounds, I think that's really good. And again, used. I don't think there's one preferable way. Like I said, I prefer theatre of mind, but if you can combine something, like if I had one of those letters pop through in my letterbox, I'll be over the moon with that.
I think it really helps set some mood and some atmosphere.
Yeah, I think again it depends. It's like because you get that bond with. It's like anything when you're at work or school or whatever, and doing this kind of thing, you do get a bond with people that you play with regularly.
Oh, for sure.
So when you get that bond and something like that happens, like you've got a real solid thing, like a letter come through your letterbox. It's just like great because you get it straight away.
Yeah, it's super neat. Super neat.
It's not nerdy, screw anyone that thinks it's nerdy. It's not. It's fun.
That's it, for sure.
It's not nerdy. It's fun. The people that like look down the noses on it, it's okay.
To heck with them.
We're enjoying stuff, man. So
absolutely. So, but yeah, since I've gotten back into gaming, though, since as an adult, I have found a lot more interest in miniatures gaming, with both ends of it, where it be D&D or man, I've thrown my hat into the ring on tabletop wargaming in Warhammer 40K at least. I talked the wife into going down and helping me spend half of our tax returns on
on 2 figures,
almost 1.5. No, well, we researched the game. I bought the books. I believe I bought 7th edition. Yeah, the 3-pack. That if I'm reading these books right, you read them once and you don't really ever need to open them again. So that was $100 well spent, and then we created a couple. We went online and found a couple of army builders and built 500-point armies to just kind of try to get started. And she chose Dark Elves with a couple of Harlequin add-ins, which I thought were just super cool. And I went with Grey Knights, which means she got 600 figures and I got 3.
But they are badass though.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, it's such a deep, fleshed out story of that universe, and it is just so incredibly cool. I love it to pieces.
Yeah, I think again the thing is sometimes people think, well, it is a dear hobby. Most hobbies are if you go all in.
Yep.
Whatever. But you don't have to always play the current edition.
Right, that's fair.
The same with D&D. If you haven't got the money, you go and find something cheap.
Basic fantasy. It's free.
Yeah.
Chris Gunnerman's book says, "Don't buy this book."
Yeah, exactly. So the same with wargaming, really. If you fancy it and you research it enough, just go back and buy like an older rule set.
I should have done that. I definitely should have done that.
The thing is probably you and I weren't talking at that point, so
right.
I shouldn't psychically send you messages.
There you go. Absolutely.
Well, I do in the night anyway when I wake up and just send you a random message. But yeah, if you want to go back and play like a different head, you'll still find the miniatures. And if you can't afford the new miniatures, go on eBay, buy them.
I've noticed that, and they're far more reasonable, and sometimes they're at least somewhat painted.
Yeah, because people tend to like it's a new shiny thing. So a new army will come out. People will want to buy the new army, and they'll
Yep.
sell their old army. I've done it myself because you think, "Oh, that looks really cool."
Got to get the new
So
thing.
yeah, there's ways around it to still play and enjoy it, but not like maybe they'd like you to, if that makes any sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
You know?
See, I've noticed, like a local friend of ours used to be a manager at a video game store, GameStop, and her brother used to play. He had a giant, expansive Orc Army,
Yeah.
and he just hadn't touched it in probably 10 years. He was willing to part with it for about $20.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like the amount of time and effort and money that you dumped into this army are just breathtaking, and they're not poorly painted. I mean, they're not as good
No.
as say my son's figure work because he's ridiculous, but they're at
Yeah.
least table decent. You know, at a distance they're going to look fine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like you look at tabletop distance. What are you looking at? 2 foot, something like that. You're looking down at it.
Right,
So as long as you got 3 colours on and a wash,
you're done.
you'll have it.
Yeah. And it's funny because you don't think about when I first started painting, I've got this little figure that's about yay big, and I'm holding it up here with my little 2 hairs on a paintbrush, making sure I've got his eyes right.
Yeah.
3 hours later, I'm still frustrated. I got to set the thing down. I go and have a smoke, and when I come back, I look at it on the table, and I realize, you know
You
what?
just go, oh, jeez.
I can't see his eyes anyway.
Yeah. I can't do eyes. They always look cross-eyed.
Same.
So I give up. I just go, oh, I can't do that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, again, there's lots of ways to approach a hobby and still get maximum enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's the core thing.
And
you
the
know,
go
no
ahead.
set guidelines, and don't let anyone tell you how to do it.
And that's another big thing I have learned this week. As long as you're having fun and the people you're playing with are also having fun, don't
Yeah.
let anyone, don't ever, and I mean ever, let anyone tell you that you are not doing it right. Because the whole idea behind this isn't to go make sure that you're adhering to this or that or pleasing him or her. The whole idea behind this hobby, whether it be tabletop board games, war gaming, I don't care if you're playing solitaire in the or playing rummy in the living room on the floor with your loved one. If you guys are both having fun, you're playing right. You're doing it right.
That's right. That's right. I mean, if you go back a couple of weeks ago, because just like I can't commit all the time to online games, which pisses me off. But
Right.
I sort of dive bombed Josh's game. I got no character sheet and no dice. I nearly killed myself trying to get upstairs, and he ran with it, and he was a good enough DM to deal with that
Nice.
and still make it fun.
Awesome.
And that was with 2 other guys that I'd never played with and game with. So a lot of pressure on Josh, bless him,
Yeah.
for somebody just to dive bomb into your game and say, "Can I play?" And he says, "Yes." And I'm like, "I haven't got a character sheet." He goes, "Okay."
I don't care.
I haven't got dice. He's
He
like,
doesn't care.
"Okay, you're in." And that was great because I got to like do half hour of like gaming, which
Yeah.
I might not have otherwise had.
Oh, it's perfect. See, and that's the essence of this entire thing is helping each other out and giving each other the things that maybe the other guy doesn't have. Say, for instance, if I'm running a game and you just don't have your dice that day or whatever, I do. There's nothing that says I can't roll for you. You don't have a character sheet.
Yeah.
Whatever. I've got so many programs in front of me that want to print out extra character sheets. I've got you covered. I've got a folder in my external hard drive here that has 300 different pre-made characters and probably 12 different systems. I could whip you up a character now.
And I kind of take that for granted, even if I know I haven't known you for that long. I can just imagine where they all are.
There you go.
But the thing is, as well, I'm doing like with my maps. Some are going to be specific to certain things. Obviously, with the Iron Falcon thing that I can't show anyone.
Sure.
But what I want to try and do is, they're quite relaxing for me doing them when I can.
Really?
So I reckon by the end of the year, I should have a shit ton of them. So I'm going to put them all in, get them all scanned and put on a file, and then like let people use them. I don't know.
That's
Just,
super cool. Just like
just
a repository
yeah,
of RPG maps.
yeah, a year's worth of maps. There you go. Knock
Perfect.
yourself out. Do what you want with them.
See, and it's
I
funny,
mean,
growing up, I would buy a module for, well, second edition at the time, and I don't
mm,
think I ever ran a single one of those modules, but I
no, no,
bought
mate.
them just for the maps.
Yeah, resources.
That's it.
It's like I said, man. It's just you find anything around the house, something will inspire you doing something.
And it'll draw you out. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, once I've done the Iron Falcon thing, I want to do the Mercia thing, which is my own kind of thing. But then I really, really want to get North Rock Abbey out for a Christmas thing for Jason. Not Christmas, sorry. What am I saying? Halloween
Oh,
for Jason to run, because this one on North Rock Abbey is really like messed up. And he's the only like guy I'd probably trust to run it how I envisage it.
oh wow. Yeah.
So I'm going to work with him to get that done for Halloween sometime, so he can invite a group of idiots that want to go through it.
And Halloween has got to be the coolest holiday for event role playing games.
Well,
If,
not over here. It's a bit sad. We don't. They keep trying to make it a thing, but everyone keeps going, oh.
See, and
And
that's the problem with our hobby. You encounter so many people that want to say, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if? Wouldn't it be great if?" But nobody wants to step up and actually do it.
oh yeah, it'll be a thing for Halloween for sure.
Too cool.
If I'm like bloody in hospital drawing maps, I'll be doing it.
They give you a little table at the hospital.
Well, I've got one of those here, but yeah,
Yep.
if I'm in hospital, I will get Norfolk Abbey done so Jason can run it for Halloween.
Too
That's going
neat.
to be a guarantee.
Very, very cool. So let's see here. What else did we have in mind for this week? You had mentioned something that really drew my attention, and I haven't had a chance to look into it any yet, so I thought maybe you could iterate on it some.
Yep.
The films in a banned horror list.
Okay. Well, I think really that's probably going to be a whole episode in itself, because
Okay.
it does get really complicated. But in a nutshell, um, when I was about 13 or so, we had like 3 TV channels and no video or nothing.
Wow.
Um, so when my dad got a video player from his work for some bizarre reason, video cassette shops for rental started to spring up, and they were really nuts. You had to pay something like about £100 membership up front before you could even hire a film.
Holy cow.
Yeah, and I went in, and it was like, holy shit. There was that many films from all over the world, and I like horror.
Oh,
So
yeah. Oh, yeah.
all these mad covers. I mean, most people have seen the original artwork for like The Evil Dead and shit.
Oh,
Um,
man. For sure.
and yeah, and I went nuts with all this stuff. But then, and I say this has got to really go into another podcast.
We'll make
The
another one,
go-
absolutely.
yeah, the government basically said no, because they'll come through with like what was an X certificate, which was like kind of vague. It was adult, but it wasn't. There was like horror, porn, martial arts films, all mixed into that X category.
Weird.
So they took all that away and said, no, we're going to ban all these films now, and they're going to need proper certification of 18 or whatever. And yeah, we will go into it in more detail, but they all sort of disappeared, but then created this massive black market because people still wanted to see them.
Oh, people are still going to get their hands on this stuff.
And if you
Absolutely.
tell someone you can't see something, they're going to want to see it more anyway.
You just made it more popular.
Yeah, exactly. So all the video shops took them off the shelves, but put them under the counter. So you go in and it'd be like a Monty Python sketch, like nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Put your money on the counter and they give you the tape in a brown bag.
Nice. Nice.
But yeah, it's fascinating because the whole like political stance in this country at the time ties into it, and that's why it gets more complicated. But yeah, I mean, most now are released back after all these years, fully uncut and everything. I mean, the gore in something like the Walking Dead TV show far surpasses most of the stuff that they banned in this country.
Me and my mother were actually talking about that because she's a huge Walking Dead fan as well as, and I like them as well. But man, back in the day, because we used to go to there was one little video rental shop in town. It was called Blue Mesa Rentals, and it's actually right next to my store now. And you'd walk in there, and they had maybe throughout the entire store, they had 200-300 videos, and it was tiny. And they had maybe 30 of those as horror films, and these were 70s, 80s horror films where, the technology just wasn't there.
Well, yeah.
And
it was all physical effect, wasn't it?
That's it. Yeah, no computer effects at that time. So the things that they're showing on network television now are just head and shoulders above what used to scare the piss out of me when I was 12.
Yeah. So it's a kind of weird sort of area, but it was very tied into the whole country's sort of mood at the time as well.
Yep.
Very, very strange. But yeah, I mean, up until then, can you imagine only having like 3 channels, TV channels?
Right.
and like BBC, when it went off air at 12 o'clock, it played the fucking national anthem.
We had that too. Our
right.
our local news channel at and I believe it was 11 here though. It would go to thanks for joining us on your broadcast day. And then it would play the national anthem to some stock photos of an eagle, and it would go to the bee.
So I mean, up until then, I'd only really been exposed to like Hammer horror and that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And occasionally, the thing that blew my mind with westerns, obviously, was the Dollars films.
Wow.
Especially the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
My mom was a huge Western fan. I need to watch some of those. I've just recently gotten into them a little bit. I watched the new Magnificent Seven.
Yeah.
I loved it. So.
But like the music score, it sends shivers up your spine, man. The Ecstasy of Gold.
Really?
Metallica use it before they come out and play. It's their intro music.
Oh, I've heard that. I have heard that. Yes.
If you go and find it like on YouTube, just the track, and close your eyes, you'll get goosebumps.
That's some good music right there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure.
So yeah, it's kind of hard to like thinking back now, and you think, I didn't know like all these films are coming from other parts of the world, and I mean, you kind of it's like everything now. I think this again maybe ties in with having joy with the simple things. Everything is so accessible.
Yeah.
You want to find a track, click there, it's a track. You want to book, there's a book. The discovery of finding things through like an organic state, you still do it because it's there, but it's not the same as stumbling across an album or stumbling across a film.
Like you used to.
Or like your best friend coming around and going, you've got to listen to this.
Right.
And sharing that. And again, then it's sharing the passion, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's like, it's why I might text you or Jason at like 2 o'clock in the morning my time and just go, guess what?
Look what I found.
I'm excited, and I know you're asleep, but you'll get it when you wake up. And I'm like, look at this. And it's like, you can still do it using technology. It's just, we get that used to it being spoon-fed.
Right. What's in my Facebook feed?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, go and find things, talk to people, go and rummage around in things in your own house. That's the stuff that's been inspiring me like the past few weeks, stuff that I thought I'd never use again because of my disabilities, and trying to slot them into a way to make them work, and again, making it passionate.
And that's the absolute trick right there, is you got to find the thing that presses that little inspiration button in your soul. And if something lights a fire in you and makes you get up on your feet and go do something, that's something you need to cherish and hold on to. So don't be afraid of it. Don't think that just because you've got a job you've got to do and there's the 40 hours a week slog you have to go take care of. That's fine. Pay your bills. You've got to get that done. But find the thing that jerks your heartstrings and go do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And don't let anyone tell you you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't be doing this right now, would we?
That's it.
You know.
I'm still baffled at the concept that someone actually listens to this. I mean, two guys that don't know what the hell they're talking about just sitting here muttering online, but I love it.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, my son listened to it, and he just said I sound like a knockoff Ozzy Osbourne.
Oh, no.
Because I've got a slight Birmingham accent, but not much.
Sure.
And it, yeah. So I don't know why people listen either, but at least we enjoy it.
That's it. Absolutely. Then on that note, I am going to tell everyone who is listening, thank you so much for listening. We're going to have to probably wrap it up there for the week.
Happy Father's Day, Mike.
Yay, thanks, man. You too. Now,
Yeah.
That's a silly question. A quick short note. Across the pond, do you guys celebrate Father's Day as well? Or is that an American accent?
Yeah, Mother's Day is a different day for some reason.
Weird.
But, yeah, I know.
Crazy. See,
But
I love
Father's
these
Day-
little things. I love that.
Yeah, because I'm in the future now.
True.
And you're in the past, but we're still talking at the same time.
Craziness. You see, he gets to warn. He warns me ahead of time, Mike. Don't get out of bed. Friday sucks.
Yeah, I can text you ahead. There's a car going to arrive. 2 gunmen.
Don't drink the coffee.
Yeah. Future Andy will visit past Mike. Yeah.
It works out.
Yeah, man.
I'm okay. Have a good week, guys.
Yeah. See you later.
And